Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News on Tree FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kesme 107.1 FM and across the world at renews.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Electoral Commission Inspector General of Police meet 11 days to the general election as they hold they both make assurances of a free, fair and peaceful election. We'll tell you more about that crucial meeting. Also coming up, campaigning intensifies with three key presidential contenders, NPP's Mahmoud Bawumia, Alan Chairman of Movement for Change, and Nana Kwame Bediako of the New Force, all jostling for votes in Greater Accra region. We're live with some updates on campaign trail. And much later, NDC caucus in Parliament urges Speaker to disregard an urgent request for a recall of the House by the MPP caucus. We'll give you details of that. Thank you very much for joining us. This is your Election Command Center. 11 days to the country's general election, and already the Electoral Commission and the Inspector General of Police have met publicly for the first time. This crucial meeting, which comes 11 days to the general election, afforded both parties to keep the public abreast with activities to ensure a free, fair and secure election. The RGP, Dr. George Akufo-Dampare, assured the police service is ready to protect staff of the EC to enable them deliver on their duties. Meanwhile, Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, has also been sharing details of the special voting exercise which takes place on December 7. Listen.
All our registers have been prepared. We have completed the preparation of our voters' register, and they have been disseminated across the country. We are also near completion with our ballots, the preparation of our ballots for the presidential and parliamentary elections. And all the ballots, with the exception of the Northern region, the Bono region, and the Bono East, have been disseminated to our police armories across the country. I'm well aware that the ballot papers for the Northern region, the Bono and Bono East regions will be disseminated to the police armories this afternoon. And we'd like to thank the police for their support and also the Army for their support. It's instructive to note that our biometric verification devices are also being prepared, and we are confident that by this weekend, all the biometric verification devices will be safely lodged in the police armories across the country. As we speak, we have over 8 regions. The biometric verification devices have been sent to over 8 regional armories, and they are in safe keeping there. The Commission has recruited close to 210,000 temporary officials in all the 40,900 plus polling stations across the country. And as we speak, they are undergoing extensive training. This year, we have developed what we call aid memoirs, which are basic instructions on key aspects of our work that will be posted on the walls at the various centers, right from the polling stations to the constituency, regional and national collation centers. We stand in readiness to conduct us
or come out in their numbers on December 7 for them to vote massively for him. And a short while ago, he was at Ayawaso Central Constituency, where he moved through the market, engaged with the market team, and came presently to them and informed them about the need for them to vote for him to be able to protect the legacy of His Excellency Adu Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and also to be able to roll out new initiatives when he becomes president. Right after Hebron Prayer Center, which is now within the Adwejire constituency, to be moving to Ablekuma Central today. That's where he will finally be finishing his tour of the Greater Accra region. So currently he's speaking to the members of the Hebron Prayer Center at Adwejire.
This is a very key area, Greater Accra region, which is a swing one. I'm wondering what the reaction has been to all the places he's been to.
Right, so Beatrice, when you listen to the leadership of the church, including the church members, this is the first time you have a sitting vice president, and possibly a sitting vice president or a president visiting the church. And the church has been existing for close to 20 years now. So the reception here has been very huge. A lot of them have come out in their numbers to welcome the vice president. When you look at the structure of Hebron Prayer Center, it's a very large, a very big place. And you have a lot of people around that they have really, really welcomed the vice president, and they're extremely happy to catch a glimpse of His Excellency and the vice president. And some of them are even asking for his T-shirts, and some of them have been distributing their T-shirts to the members of the Hebron Prayer Center. They have taken the T-shirts and they have renewed their commitments and reposed the commitments.
The major stakeholders in the elections, the police service, the security agencies, as well as the Electoral Commission, we're emphasizing their readiness for the elections come December 7th. First of all, there's a special voting that is happening next week. According to the Commission and the security agencies, they are very much prepared. Some 328 polling centers have been made available for the special voting. Election materials are already prepared and ready for the special voting that is happening first before the major elections. The Electoral Commission Chair, Jim Mensah, is also telling us that they have trained over 210,000 temporary staff for the elections, and they will have some documents, if you like, around on election day to aid them as well as the general public understand some areas which hitherto were grey areas for the elections. Essentially, they're telling us that they are ready for the elections. The IGP is assuring the EC staff as well as the chair of the commission that they will be protected on election day as well as the entire populace. The IGP is grateful for the level of comportment the Ghanaian people have exhibited ahead of the elections, and he hopes that continues.
As the security agencies, in support of the excellent job that you are doing, and we'll do all what it takes, and I repeat, all what it takes to ensure that this country continues to be at peace with herself. And in our readiness, Madam Chair, we want to also say that we will protect every Ghanaian and we will protect every stakeholder in these elections. And more importantly, we will protect you and your staff as they go about their constitutional duty of ensuring that the election is executed to the benefit of Ghanaians. So that assurance we want to give to you and to your staff, for them to feel free to undertake their assignment without any hindrance or without any fear, because we will have your back as security agencies. Madam Chair, also we are here today as a way of debriefing, as we have always done. We've done a lot of work when it came to the printing of the ballots and the transportation of the ballots across the country. And like you rightly indicated, we are 95% done, and with the BVDs, we are also almost 50% done. And looking at the timetable that we are working with, we are sure that within the shortest possible time, over the next couple of days, we'll be done with all this, and all these facilities and logistics will be in place at where it matters. So we are here to look at that debriefing, and I know after this session, our technical team will meet your technical team, then we'll look at it also from that angle.
And you heard there the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufo-Dampare. And from that, drama and just more drama. The unfolding spectacle of near parliamentary chaos will just not go away despite the Supreme Court ruling on the vacant seat saga. The NDC caucus in Parliament is holding on steadfast to its position as the majority in the 8th Parliament in a latest memo to the Speaker. The memo signed off by the leader, Dr. Kesa Latofosing, is praying the Speaker to reject the MPP leader's request for a recall of the House to discuss urgent government business. The NDC MPs say that no urgent government business exists, as their colleagues on the other side have on other occasions failed to properly execute business scheduled for emergency sitting. Let me give you a bit more on as regards the details on the NDC MP's argument that the petition to recall Parliament has not satisfied the threshold and requirement under Article 1123 of the Constitution and Order 53.1 of the Standing Orders requiring 15% signatures MPs. Also, the petition has not demonstrated there is any urgent government business to warrant warrant a recall of Parliament, barely 11 days to the crucial 2024 general election. It also says that in previous emergency recalls, many of the businesses listed in this instant petition were stated as so-called urgent government business, but in the end, they were abandoned. It goes on to say that it is our considered position that there is no urgent government business currently before the House to warrant an urgent recall. The NDC caucus wraps it up by saying that this recall that is being requested is ill-timed and will constitute a needless drain on the Ghanaian taxpayer. We therefore respectfully urge you to reject this call.
Mothers from all the traditional paramounts in the central region. And this, according to the organizers, this meeting is for her to meet with these traditional leaders who are female traditional leaders because they also play major roles in their community. Being a woman, she feels that she has to get some views from these women, especially with some of the policies that the NDC has outlined, which is geared towards the development of women. So this morning she's been interacting with these queen mothers from all the paramounts in the central region who are also going to tell her about what they want from the next NDC government, and also key among all the discussion is how.
And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Stay with us.
Command Center. Facts, analysis, results. Hey, ready to make your drive home epic? It's the 3FM
And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Thank you very much for staying. From the campaign trail, let's bring you this. And the Director of Revenue Policy Division at the Ministry of Finance, George Winfield, says that the government is working hard to block the loopholes in the tax system to rake in more revenue. He was speaking at a two-day national tax policy dialogue organized by Network for Women's Rights in Ghana, NetRight, and the Tax Justice Network Africa in Accra.
Yes. The loopholes in our tax system should be a concern of all of us. And whereas we are concerned and we try as much as possible to make taxation very easy for people to comply with, it's still others take advantage and do not comply. And if we make tax affordable and we don't comply, then it means that government is losing a lot of revenue. And the targeted people for which we made the tax affordable don't even benefit as expected, because then we continue to introduce more tax policies and so on, which burden all of us.
E-levy impacts both women and men differently.
And I had the executive director of Network for the women's group that organized this program. That's Network for Women's Rights in Ghana, Patricia Blankson. Also, 5 persons have been arrested in Tashiman for diverting food items meant for the Kintampo and Jema Senior High Schools in the Bono East region. The 5, according to Kwesi Adu, the Bono East Regional Minister, comprises 3 drivers and 2 storekeepers. And we do have Adam Wompuni with us. He's a local reporter. He joins us live with details of this. Adam, what more can you tell us about this issue?
As the minister indicated, 5 people have been arrested 3 of them are drivers, while the other 2 are storekeepers working with the Techiman Zonal Depot. And what we are learning is that they loaded the items and they were sending them to the Techiman Senior High School and then Jema Senior High School. And when they reached Chabodam, which is between Kintampo and Techiman, they diverted the items and then started uploading them into 2 motor teams. So upon of the NIB, the National Investigations Bureau, and the police service were able to arrest the driver carrying the items, and then of course the 2 guys driving the 2 motor teams. So right after that, they were able to arrest the storekeepers of the Techiman Zonal Depot. And what we now learn is the police are currently investigating the matter, and we haven't been told when the suspects will be sent to court yet. But what we have been told is that they are currently at the Techiman District Police Office while investigating underway to unravel the real truth of the matter. And then, of course, in the coming days, they will be also processing them for court.
And you had a local reporter in Techiman, in the Bono East region, Adam Wumpuni, telling us that story about the 5 persons who have been arrested in Techiman for diverting food items meant for the Free Senior High School feeding system. And just very briefly before we go, the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, is this afternoon recommending corporate governance training for trustees of the National Cathedral Board following suspicions of corruption and its related activities in the awarding of contract to Rebadi Company Limited. An explosive report by SHRAJ has, as part of a listed recommendation, demanded an audit into the work of the ongoing cathedral construction and possible investigation and prosecution of board members who supervised the awarding of contracts. We'll bring you more of that in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us today. Log on to shrinews.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.
Imagine a place where voices matter, where every corner, every street, every community is a platform.
A big bus moving through Accra, carrying conversations, questions, and the pulse of the nation. This is not just another show, it's your voice on the move.
Join us as 3FM Sunrise hits the road, turning ordinary streets into platforms for extraordinary dialogue. Speak freely, listen deeply, and help shape the conversation that drives Ghana forward.
Look out for the bus and tune in exclusively on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
And hello there, good afternoon, welcome to Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7 with me, Michael Ogbodu. Coming up, Institute for Energy Security IES accuses government of overseeing the deterioration of Ghana's power sector. Also in the bulletin, Ghana's real estate sector embroiled in massive money laundering scandal.
Parties included fraud perpetrated through corporate structures, corruption, theft, and drug trafficking. I've been not guilty of predicate crimes commonly associated with real estate money laundering.
Plus, cedi continues upward trend, appreciates against dollar for second consecutive week. Details of these and more coming up shortly. Please stay. Well, thank you so much for your time. Straight into our top story. The Institute for Energy Security, IES, has accused the government of overseeing the deterioration of Ghana's power sector. According to the IES, the sector's decline is attributed to operational and financial inefficiencies, mounting debts, mismanagement, and diminishing public confidence. This report has more.
The IES in a press statement highlights that Ghana's power sector is facing unprecedented challenges despite the government inheriting substantial resources and opportunities in 2017. The Institute knows that the country's power sector was relatively stable, with excess capacity to meet demand and a dependable generation capacity of 4,127 megawatts. However, despite increased capacity, the sector now faces significant power generation deficits and frequent outages. Key concerns raised by IES include increasing power outages undermining productivity and economic growth, non-payment of arrears to IPPs leading to shutdowns and reduced generation capacity, rising resilience on imported fuels exposing the sector to global fuel price volatilities, declining public trust due to the lack of transparency and restricted access to critical data. The Institute is demanding immediate resolution of the issues raised to restore public and investor confidence.
That was a 3 Business News Desk report. Away from that, a shocking report revealed by Global Financial Integrity has uncovered widespread money laundering in Ghana's real estate sector. The study, which examined 24 properties and 510 acres of land, reveals that a staggering minimum of almost $49 million has been laundered through the sector. The report's findings, made public by policy analyst at West Africa Global Financial Integrity, Maxo Kure, shed light on the alarming scale of illicit financial activities in Ghana's real estate market.
Once again, let me state that this is a minimum estimate, not the exact. Okay. Then one of the popular ways which people use in getting money to purchase this particular some of the properties included fraud perpetrated through corporate structures, corruption, theft, and drug trafficking. I've been not guilty of predicate crimes commonly associated with real estate money laundering. With this drug trafficking, now really quickly comes to mind. Corporate structures, allegedly, men's goal comes to mind. Corruption is the most common one, but in instances where somebody is having over $1 million and euros and everything under his or her bed, and some was stolen to purchase up over 8 or so properties, we all can see the source of it. Corruption is somehow involved in it.
So that was policy analyst at West Africa Global Financial Integrity, Maxwell Kuiri, speaking there. Now, the Ghana cedi has continued its upward trend against the US dollar for the second consecutive week, driven by increased liquidity injection by the Bank of Ghana. This surge is attributed to the central bank's injection of almost $200 million into the market, complemented by a foreign exchange inflow of about $21 million from market participants. This report has the details.
The cedi has appreciated by 2.3% against the US dollar on the interbank market over the last 2 weeks. As of last week's close, the cedi was quoted at 16 cedis 50 pesos to $1. However, as of this morning, it has strengthened to 15 cedis 83 pesos against the US dollar. This development comes on the heels of the International Monetary Fund, IMF's announcement that it will disburse $360 million to Ghana under the country's Economic Credit Facility Program. The IMF board is expected to approve the third review in early December 2024, following Ghana's successful debt restructuring earlier this year. Analysts expect this development to improve market sentiment and ease pressure on the cedi. The influx of funds is anticipated to augment Ghana's foreign exchange reserves and support supply-side interventions. As a result, some analysts predict that the cedi will continue to gain value through January 2025.
That was a 3 Business News Desk report. The Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, has bemoaned the lack of policy congruence in the government's climate action strategies, warning that the inconsistency undermines the nation's efforts to combat climate change and transition to a sustainable energy future. According to ACEP, while the government has made commitments to international frameworks such as the Paris Agreement and articulated ambitious goals in its nationally determined contributions, its actions on the ground suggest a disconnect between rhetoric and implementation. Speaking at a climate action conference organized by his outfit, Executive Director Benjamin Boakye stressed the need for government to begin investing in research to ensure data-driven policy implementation.
We have a lot of research evidence that can come out of this. Those could inform policy, could inform government direction going forward. It's bizarre to see policies generated that do not go through some rigor or certification by academics who have been working around these subjects. And it's also partly because we are not generating enough evidence that we are sharing with the political class or people. We need to deviate from that and begin to generate the evidence that is required and feed that into policy making. So what we're trying to do here is really make that happen. We're also trying to, in spite of these challenges we do have, we need government to participate in this research effort, putting in place mechanisms to finance research. In our context, we don't fund research much. We only spend and build infrastructure. But we're not building knowledge. We're not spending to develop.
So that was Benjamin Boakye. He's the Executive Director for the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP. Before we leave you, Sono Nasogde Power Ghana Limited has announced the resumption of operations at its 560 megawatt power plant following an emergency funding intervention by the government. The plant, which has been shut down due to financial constraints, resumed operations on Monday, November 25, 2024 at 3 p.m. In a press release, the company expressed gratitude to the Minister for Finance, Mohamed Amin Adam, and the Minister for Energy, Herbert Krapper, for facilitating the release of emergency funds to address the plant's critical financial needs. Sono Nasogde also acknowledged the Vice President for his intervention, which played a key role in ensuring payments were made to enable the plant return to service. Well, on that note, that'll be all for today's edition of Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7. For more business stories, please visit our website. It's 3news.com/business. I am Michael Ogbodu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe. Up next is Urban Blend, and Black Rasta is on standby. Stay tuned.